Continuing on from the previous video, how to scientifically detect if your company or any place you sacrifice your time for labor is toxic. Welcome to Life Study Library. In this channel, your host, Lye Yosh, will talk about interesting and educational information about science and psychology that can greatly change your lives for the better. If this is your first time in this channel, you should also check out my previous video called Top 7 Traits of a Toxic Workplace, which is pretty much a part 1 of this video. So if you're interested, please support this channel grow by liking the videos, subscribing to Life Study Library, and share to others that this channel exists. Thank you for doing all that, and let's begin today's video. So I guess I should start this video with the base premise of workplaces that are beneficial and harmful, and the thought process you should have even before detecting which one of them are which. Overall, you should primarily focus on avoiding toxic work environments before trying to find good ones. Plenty of scientific studies have found that the damage you can get from a toxic work environment far exceeds the benefits you can get from a good one. The present study done in 2021, which took 1,084 full-time Australian employees, have figured out how much damage can a toxic work environment have towards people. The study started by establishing a general definition of a toxic work environment, which are workplaces where its employees experience negative stress and pressure, and thus depletes their mental energy and productivity. The negative pressure part has lots of examples, like getting ridiculed by coworkers and bosses, or competitions that are too fierce, or unnecessary orders and requests, these kinds of stuff. And a healthy work environment should have its leaders concentrating on properly solving these issues. And this concept of a healthy work environment is measured by a really famous indicator called the psychological safety cohort, or the PSC. The PSC is used to determine how safe the workers feel when they work for a company or the organization. According to the study, the higher an organization's PSC score gets, the healthier the worker's mental state becomes, and conversely, the lower their PSC score gets, the employees can experience a shocking 300% increase in their risk of getting depressed. The study also showed that these negative effects from a toxic work environment affected men more than women. Now, the study doesn't specifically say why this is the case, but I believe this has something to do particularly with men and their stereotypical identity as a breadwinner. As men generally bring home the greatest amount of income compared to women, they tend to experience the greatest level of mental health damage when he fails to do so due to the work environment being toxic or something. The general understanding of a toxic work environment doing us harm has been common sense, but it was really surprising to find out that it had this much damage to our mental health. This is indeed alarming. Alright, so let's talk about the PSC itself. Apparently, there are multiple versions of this, but today we'll talk about the simplest version, which is essentially a 12-statement survey. Here's what you need to do. I'll present to you 12 statements about opinions of a working environment. Your job is to rate each statement on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not at all applicable, and 5 being completely applicable. Okay, here we go. 1. At my workplace, particularly people from the management position, act quickly to resolve issues and challenges that impact the mental health of its employees. 2. At my workplace, managers act decisively when problems arise with employees' mental health. 3. The managers at my workplace firmly commit to supporting any effort to minimize workplace stress. 4. The managers at my workplace prioritizes employees' psychological well-being. 5. The managers at my workplace prioritizes maintaining its workers' mental health. 6. The managers at my workplace prioritizes its workers' mental health as much as company productivity. 7. There is good communication regarding psychological safety in my workplace. 8. My superiors frequently notify me about the information concerning employee mental health. 9. The managers at my workplace listens to safety or hygiene concerns brought up by the workers. 10. Discussions about mental health and psychological safety is done not only between managers, but through employees and even through labor union. 11. Employees are encouraged to be included in discussions regarding psychological safety and workplace health concerns. And 12. All departments at my workplace are involved in stress prevention and psychological safety. Alright, those are the survey statements. After you finish reading all of them, add up the numbers, and you're done. And now let's look at the results. If you scored 41 and up, your workplace is very psychologically safe. If it's between 40 and 37, your workplace is generally psychologically safe, but should have some improvements. If it's between 36 and 26, it's pretty low. Do consider taking the initiative to raise the PSC levels in order to lower workplace depression up to about 16% and burden from the workload up to 14%. Under 26, immediate action is necessary, so either fix it now or the more likely resolution is for you to just escape that working environment and find a new job. So that was basically it for the survey. Of course, this is just rough examination for the decision to quit or switch careers, so you should definitely not make any big decisions just because the survey has said so. But it can definitely be used as a scientifically backed up reference to your decision. So yeah, do take into consideration. Next, I'll be talking about this particular exercise you can do to increase the chance of you successfully switching jobs or getting rehired. We're talking about your career possibilities, so it's not surprising at all for you to take many things into consideration, like the amount of pay, whether you're allowed to work from home or not, the distance from your home, whether it allows a temporary leave for any kind. There seems to be way too many variables to consider. Nonetheless, these are all very important values that you have that'll hugely impact your career choices. But I feel like the biggest worries that most workers have is the fact that they will definitely, at least temporarily, lose a source of their income, which will lead to other financial worries, like how much stocked money you can use before you need to find the next job, and you'll most definitely have to temporarily lower your standard of living in case of a situation where you struggle to find your next job. For people who worry about this, I strongly suggest you to start a side hustle to maintain a flow of income. Side hustles can be of many use, most notably in cases of a sudden blue day, where the money you get from a side hustle can cushion your sudden drop in income from your main job. But earning from a side hustle will definitely require your extra time and energy and commitment, your mental resources that will have to be taken out of your main job. This is one of the reasons why many public companies to this day in 2024 view side hustles as a hindrance to performances in people's main careers, and thus forbid workers from having a side hustle. This is blasphemous, because there are many scientific studies done that proves that side hustles, with a little bit of tweaking, can actually improve worker performance on their main careers. Support of my claim can be found in another study published on the Academy of Management Journal on 2021, which was super exciting for me as well, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now with this channel. So if working on this channel can directly affect my main career, then that's just infinite brownie points for me. Now, what the study did was that it collected 80 working individuals who also had a side business and asked them at random times questions like, what are you working on currently on your career? Or how would you rate your working performance? And recorded their answers for 10 days. Additionally, the study also sought help from the co-workers of the samples and made them record if and what kind of changes the samples had in their main careers. So for example, if their amount of finished work on their main career increased because of them working on their side hustles. Also, the side businesses of the samples varied from things like food delivery, arts and crafts, accessory making, even answering internet surveys and polls. I did not know you could earn money by doing that. Yeah, but the point is that many types of side hustles were included. The samples' variations of their main careers were also far and wide, as it included things like real estate agents and rental services, human resource coordinator, data analyst, teachers, nurses, and more. Before the experiment started, the researchers first decided on a concrete definition for the term side hustles, which was defined basically as an income-generating labor that one does outside of their full-time work hours. And the approximate time the samples spent on their side hustles were about 13 hours per 4 weekday. And about half of them had more than 2 side gigs. Yeah, I need to step it up too. But anyways, here's the analysis of the study. Many tend to think that their performance on their main jobs are lowered due to their time and energy spent on their side gigs. However, this is quite the contrary, because their participation on their side gigs produce positive emotions and energy, and therefore boosts up their performance on their main jobs. Companies like Uber, Etsy, or Pfeffer provides a platform where workers who are already doing another job can earn a second income. This is very beneficial to the workers all in itself, but aside from that, the act of having a side hustle has much more positive effects than negative. And because the superiors at the worker's main job can also enjoy those benefits, public companies should discard the negative stereotypes they might have towards workers having a side gig. The study have also said that the safest possible combination for you is to have your main job and your side gig at the same time in order to maintain a steady stream of income, and only jump to your project full time when you're certain you can be financially safe without your main career. So this is definitely great news to me and the many others who already have or are striving to have their own businesses. If doing your side gig helps your main job, then there really is no reason not to do it. I was a little worried that there might be data where people find their side gigs so much more enjoyable than their main careers that it depletes their energy and motivation to effectively work on their main jobs, but I guess for the most part you don't need to worry about that. The study does say that you might lose some of your attention because you worked so hard on your side gig, so that would be one thing you should be careful about. Other suggested benefits of side hustles that are not fully confirmed yet are things like you gaining self-control because of the feeling that you are working on your side hustles at your responsibility, and the positive emotion you gain from the feeling of self-control will benefit performance on your main career. Again, these benefits are not fully confirmed, but it wouldn't be strange if it did. I myself can relate to these effects, as I think you can lose a great amount of creativity by being too busy with your main careers, or vice versa. But with the addition of side hustles where it's completely up to you on deciding how to produce, you might be greatly benefited through here as well. So if you have a business idea but can't really implement that well in your main jobs, do consider separating the two and start a side gig to experience not only a possible increase in your income, but because of all these benefits you might get. Today's recommended video you should watch after finishing this one is The Fearless Organization: Creating Psychological Safety in the Workplace for Learning, Innovation, and Growth by Amy C. Edmondson. This book conveys the importance of a highly valuable concept that organizations and businesses should implement called psychological safety. This is essentially an organizational culture where all of its participants can state any thoughts in their mind or opinions about the organization without the risk of punishment. An example of a risk due to its absence can be seen in hospitals. So for example, when a nurse knows that their patient needs a certain kind of medication, but the doctor's report doesn't mention that, and the nurse gets confused, but because the nurse fears getting scolded or punished for questioning the doctor's decision, they keep quiet and does not bring up the concern. If you're in the patient's shoes and you knew this, you probably get worried sick, and it's obvious that the decision to not make sure, even if that's due to a fear of getting punished, it's blindingly obvious that this is not a healthy work ethic. In order to not cause any of these potential major slip-ups, having psychological safety in your workplace and making sure healthy communications happen is vital. If you're interested, go check it out from the link in the description. Again, if you want to know more specifically about toxic workplaces and how to detect if your workplace is categorized as is, check out my previous video, Top 7 Traits of a Toxic Workplace. You can also check that out in the description. With all that said, time for me to sleep. Thanks for watching the video and thanks for supporting this channel. I'll see you in another video. Stay safe, kids.